In this video, you are going to learn how to convert between percents, fractions, and decimals. As a quick review, remember that converting between percents, fractions, and decimals is like translating between Spanish, English, and French. There's different ways of saying the word for dog, perro, chien, but it means the same thing. In the same way, we have percents, we have ratios, we have fractions, and we have decimals, and we can write them in different ways, but they will all mean the same thing. For example, if we have 1/5, that is the same thing as 20% and the same thing as 0.2. We've done the same thing. It's just written in 2 or 3 different languages or 3 different ways. The steps for accomplishing this are, if we start with a percent, for example, we take the number, and that goes in the numerator of a fraction. And a percent, it's percent, is a special fraction out of 100. And so the denominator is 100, and then we simplify. If you are trying to find a decimal, you simply take the numerator and you divide by the denominator, and you get your decimal. Always round your decimal to 2 decimal places. If you have a decimal and you're trying to find a percent, then you can just multiply your decimal times 100 and you get the percent that you're looking for. You need to add the percent sign. In this question, we're asked to take 40% and we're trying to find a decimal. And so if we go back to what we were looking at before, we know that we're starting with a percent, so then we need to go to a fraction and then to a decimal. So we're taking 40%, which is 40%, and then I go to a fraction, that's 40 over 100, and then I do go to the decimal by dividing. 40 divided by 100. And you should know this already because it's the hundredths place. So I should have 0.40 or 0.4. Next, we have a question that says, how do we write 0.7 as a percent? So we need to write 0.7, and we need to go to a percent. And the way I'm going to do this is I have my decimal, so I'm going to take the decimal 0.7, and to get to a percent, I do times 100. And this is going to give me 70%. And then again, if I wanted my fraction, I could calculate that by putting 70 over 100. On the next level, it says, how do you write 1.12 as a percent? And so we're going to do the same thing. To find a percent, we multiply times 100. So I take 1.12 times 100, and this is going to give me 112%. In this case, that means that you're going to have more than what the whole is. So for example, if you started with 100 and then you are making money, you're a business person, you don't want to get back the money that you spent. You want to make extra on top of that. And so this would be increase in your percentage. How do you write 150% as a fraction or a mixed number? Okay, so we go to the steps from before. We're starting with a percent. We put the numerator on top the number goes on the numerator, and then the percent sign is 100. So let's try and do that. So we have 150%. The percent sign goes on the bottom. The number goes on top. So I get 150 over 100. Now this can simplify because I can knock my zeros off and I get 15 over 10. And I can then take 15 over 10 and I can simplify again either using a calculator, or I know that this divides by 5 on the top and the bottom. So 15 divided by 5 is 3 and 10 divided by 5 is 2. So I get 3/2. In this video, you learned how to convert between percents, fractions, and decimals.